We're starting up a show called Business at the Speed of Light, where we talk about where business is going, what role supply chain and information management have in the growth of economies. So in addition to Pakistan, Hanif Saab will be sharing his insights into the various countries, markets and economies that he has. Kaise hain aap?
बस ठीक हूँ.
Business at the Speed of Light. आप इतने सारे काम करते हैं, करिकुलम डेवलपमेंट में भी, गेट्स फार्मा में भी काम करते हैं. You're also associated with the SAFA board. You're a technical advisor there. ये सारी चीजें किस तरह मैनेज करते हैं?
First of all, you need to have a love for any work you carry out.
Right.
And if that particular ingredient is available in any initiative you take, then there will be no barriers.
Okay.
Whatever, whether the paucity of time and other thing. You know, everybody in this world have to live with a limited time span.
Absolutely.
How nicely you utilize that capacity for the productive and value addition, that will count at the end.
Okay.
It is very easy for me to pass on Sunday without doing anything,
Right.
or Saturday, because that is my close day, by doing some shopping or whatever I have to do it, socializing. But these 2 days are very productive for me in balancing my other side of the coin.
Okay.
You know, while working with a pharmaceutical company which is really going with the greatest speed and maintaining the sustainable growth of 40% not only in Pakistan but in the international market as well. 24/7 is you can say the time is one you have to work. When you have an instrument like BlackBerry in your hand and you are well connected with internet and your enterprise resource system, then time is not a limit. Whether you are at home or whether you are in Pakistan or abroad or anywhere, you have to give the response to your internal and external customer at the speed at which it is required. And most of the decision nowadays, if you categorize the decision making, and as suggested by Wall Street, that now Fortune 500 companies just spend 5% of their times on strategic decision making, 95% of their time is firefighting and operating issues. So operating issues doesn't wait.
Right.
You have to take a decision on real-time basis. And in order to have a real-time decision, you need to have an information in your hand. So information technology and your business process management should go in line in order to meet the requirement of the customer. So that thing, plus you also need to update yourself that what your competitors are doing, what the field of education is needed to upgrade yourself, and what are the challenges that are encountering not only to the education profession, but also to the business in which you are in.
Absolutely.
If you will update, definitely you will be ahead of time.
But okay, so let's take a step back. So it's understood that business happens at the speed that it happens. So whether you're in Pakistan, Philippines, the US, it's happening pretty much at the same time. Within the organization, we see a lot of confusion. People don't know whether they should be firefighting or whether they are responsible for strategy or whether they should contribute towards the long-term vision and objective of the organization. So let's start with the absolute basics. Do you see that as a problem in Pakistani organizations?
Most of the Pakistani organizations are lax in information management. One biggest weakness in our area is that we never would like to be transparent to our internal customer and our external customer. You pick up the balance sheet of most of the companies who are quoted on a stock exchange. You will find more than 500 companies are bleeding if you just analyze their operational performance. They are just taking the advantage of the environment that developed not by them, but by the external circumstances. For instance, just take, last year was an excellent year for the total textile industry in Pakistan because the prices of the cotton have increased to the tune of 20 to 25% in the international market. And Alhamdulillah, since our country is a grower of the cotton, I will not rate it among 10 or 8 or 6 because there is a lot of debates going on and people will not accept it. But we have shown a tremendous growth in our export, not in terms of a volume, but in terms of a revenue. And we ended up somewhere at around 28 billion. You know, first time in the history of the country, even though despite all difficulties, you can just diagnose whatever the negative concept you have to put it, we will easily fit in into our circumstances. But Pakistan did the great thing was that in net dollar inflow and outflow, we were surplus. It means this is a great sign that this country has a potential. If honestly the things are applied, we can make it. Textile industry have wiped off all their losses of last 10 years in 1 year. But you will see when the result will start pouring in September, they will not pay anything to the shareholder. So the transparency really become the biggest handicap over there. Investors' relationship, reporting, is not according to what a normal shareholder needs in the market. So what is actually hidden is there. They are mostly not honest with their investors. And to greater extent, some of the expenses are so much escalated to make the end result appear as a loss. And neither they want to pay the tax, nor they want to proud feeling themselves that one of our KPI is that we are the largest taxpayer in the country. For instance, about Getz Pharma, let me tell you, Getz Pharma is among the 5 top companies in Pakistan which pay millions and millions of tax, because otherwise if your balance sheet is not transparent and you are not as per compliance, you will have no chance of your operation to expand in the global market.
Okay, so how do you bring the transparency into the organization or to the economy?
First of all, there is no recognition of professional in the market. 56% I can rate is a textile, and rest of the thing I will also put it as a non-organized economy. You will see that the professional who are hired over there, many times they are used to facilitate them to hide the income. And I always say that whenever the financial fraud is committed in any organization, some financial guru will be behind that fraud, who will be guiding the entrepreneur that how conveniently it can be carried out. And the best network that is operating under the shadow economy is between the FBR authorities, between the regulatory authorities, and so you can say conveniently they pass their accounts year after year, year after year, year after year. And that is the result that direct taxation in this country, after even 50 years, 64 years now have completed, doesn't constitute 3% of the total revenue we contribute in this country. And if you dissect even further to that thing, you will find the elite class of the people who cannot hide, particularly those employees who are working in a transparent organizations. They are loaded with the tax, and their contribution in the total revenue is increasing every year.
Okay. So how do you balance this out? Do you see it balancing out in Pakistan?
I think we need to have a surgery to be done. Attitude changing ki baat hai, 64 years have been given. And now there is a need to have a chemotherapy to be committed by somebody from a different department. For that purpose, we need to have an honest parliament who have a transparency in their hand that what they are individually doing. Frankly speaking, the people of Pakistan are not afraid of paying the taxes. but they are afraid of harassment at the moment. They feel that if I have to pay the tax and my genuine tax liability is 100 rupees this year, and if I won't be able to sustain that 100 rupees and I may have a 50 rupees liability next year, nobody is going to accept it. Just since GST was implemented, every time we blame FBR, we blame poor policemen, we blame any government employees. But what we have to do, every year we go to perform an umrahs and luxury, you can say drivings and foreign trips and other thing which has become the norms in their daily talk. And if you just ask them to show me your last assessment order, I don't think anybody will have the courage to show it to you. Most of the people doesn't pay. In our total 300 parliament member, I think hardly you will find that the people who are contributing to the national exchequer in terms of a direct tax up to million rupees, maybe 4 or 5. And the people who are not having even the national tax number are more than 50% in the assembly members. So these are the people who take the legislative steps. How they can put a charismatic leadership to the other people so they can follow them. So this is biggest lacking we have. After Qaid-e-Azam, we never find any leader so the people can follow them. अच्छे अच्छे घर छोड़ के यहाँ आ गए, अच्छे अच्छे business they drop it over there with one personality, with one slogan. But just see where we have kept that thing and where we are right now. The worrisome thing is, Rabia, we are having the most number of the segment of population is less than 25. They are productive populations. They are creatives. They have creative thoughts. But what atmosphere we are providing to them? Even after doing an MBA from good universities, they are really finding difficulty in accommodating themselves into a reasonable organization. One will be lucky to get a job in same stream where he has done masters. But at many of the places there is a compromise. And if you carry compromise, compromise goes when both parties are happy